Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Martin. I'm a Gold Consultant with Archer and Evolution Travel. I'm here to present to you New Agent 101. So if you are here, thank you for arriving. Typically, if this was live, I would have you put in the chat how long you've been on the team and what step you're currently on our team training website. This training is geared for those of you who have already started registering for vendors. So if you have not done that, I highly recommend you go back to the training website under step 1 and do that new agent orientation, which Tommy Joe takes you through the registration with vendors. However, if you have already started that process and you're not completely completed with it, that's fine. You can stay here and learn a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get started. This will not take long. It'll be about 30 minutes of your time, but I do want to show you a couple of tips and tricks using some of our vendors at the end. So stay tuned. So let's get started. At this point, congratulations, you guys. You are already travel agents, and at this stage you should already have completed your Evolution travel certification. So your Archer certification should be complete. You should see your certificate that looks like this with your name on it. Hopefully at this time you've already sent it over to your mentor so that they can get you started on the next steps with our training website and all of those great things. So again, congratulations, you have made a great decision in joining our team. So many of you are probably familiar with our exclusive training website, and this is kind of like what it looks like. We are going to be covering the money in your pocket, and I'm going to go over a couple of the steps to make sure you know how to navigate our training website to the best of your abilities, okay? So let's talk about money in your pocket for a second. When you click on money in your pocket right here, which is right beside step 1, it'll bring you to this video. You'll see this video first, and underneath it, you'll see a link where you can actually click and download the Google Doc that has the checklist that you're actually going to need. So you're free to watch this money in your pocket YouTube video if you prefer, but if you're like me and you like to get to the meat and potatoes of things, then you'll want to actually click on that link below the video that brings you to this Google Doc that looks like this, okay? Money in your pocket is a checklist that, again, is set up to put you on a path to success, okay? Whether you complete it in your first 30 days or not, it is still something you want to complete because by doing so, you will be setting yourself up for success as a travel agent. Let's go over this just a little bit, just to make sure there are no confusions. In this checklist, you must complete all of Section A, and then you have the option to complete either Section B, C, or D. Now, with Section A, you'll notice that it goes in the exact order of your training on the training website. So, for instance, download Zoom, you already done that. And if you're here at New Agent 101, guess what? You can check that off of your list as well. So be mindful that you must complete all of these sections or check marks under Section A, and then you get to choose from B, C, or D. And really that depends on whether you plan on just simply booking travel, if you only want to do the mentorship side of the business, or D, if you want to do both sides of the business, okay? So that is something you want to go over with your mentor if you have any questions, but this is the checklist that you'll use. A lot of agents like to print this off or at least have this separate so that they can check it as they go. Now the checklist is on the actual website where you can click there as well. But again, I highly recommend just simply downloading this checklist onto your computer and saving it in your Google Doc so that you can keep track of it wherever you are, okay? So let's keep moving forward. So again, as I mentioned to you, in step 1, the new agent training video is where you are, Tommy takes you through the registration process with our top vendors, okay? We have over 133 preferred vendors. However, in this video, she's going to get you registered with the top ones that you'll use most frequently, okay? In all honesty, guys, you're likely not going to use all of the vendors. I think I use maybe a handful at a time. And I may have just started adding a couple of more because I've been here a little bit longer. I've been currently on the team now nearing my 8th month. So I'm super excited about that. I am a trainer, a mentor, a travel agent first and foremost, and a presenter. So I'm so super excited to be bringing this information to you. Again, this video here takes you through the registration process for all of our top vendors. Make sure you follow it. The good thing is that it is online. So if you have kids like myself and you need to do it kind of like on your free time, you get the luxury of watching it, pausing it, coming back to it, and continuing with the registration process. All right, so let's move forward. Many of you should have already started the registration process, and I'm going to go over the next thing. So this is where I'm supposed to tell you, if you're live, that if you have not begun that registration process, that this is a time for you to log off and attend another time. But again, if you're still here, I'm assuming that you have already done those steps, so let's keep going. When you are registering with vendors, we highly recommend that you keep some type of documentation showing your username and passwords and the vendors that you've currently registered with. Being that we have so many, it's very good for you to document which vendors you use. You can use a simple Google Sheets to document this. So you'll notice vendor logins, and this should say vendor, not verder, but vendor logins. And you simply put the vendor, your username and password, which vendor you have here, and you can make, of course, this is a header row, your username that you have for that vendor, and then password. Unfortunately, the usernames are not going to be the same for each vendor, specifically when you're talking about cruise lines, because they have a very unique way in which they like for you to document your username. So that is the reason why keeping a spreadsheet is essential, so that you can keep up with the different usernames that you have with the different vendors. And we are going to take a look at what that looks like. If you need a copy of a vendor spreadsheet, or you need something like this, your mentor will be glad to give you one, or you can create one really simply on your own, simply going to Google Sheets, typing in vendor, username, password, and just as you are registering with the different vendors, type them in, put in your username and password, okay? So let's keep moving on. Now, when you're registering with vendors, all of you are probably familiar with this. We call it the back office. You may have heard it so many times, back office, back office, back office. Well, this is your back office, and you'll always know that you're in your back office because you'll see these colorful little boxes at the top. But what you want to pay attention to is over here on the left-hand side. This is your menu, okay? And what you want to click on is the Travel Cafe when you're registering with vendors. The Travel Cafe has that little coffee mug, so it's very easy to remember. It's circled here so that you can easily see it. Let's see what the Travel Cafe looks like. And what I'm going to bring up first is something that is very essential for you as a new agent, because you might have clients who want to leave or depart within 21 days of travel. And there is a special way, process that you must follow if that is the case. So let's take a look at what that looks like. When you go to Travel Cafe, and on the left-hand side is also a menu, and you click this within 21 days of travel, what you're going to get here are two different flow charts. One is in English and one is in Spanish. If you have a client who's looking to book within 21 days of departure, to prevent fraud, Archer has set up a process to ensure that your client is not someone who's on their list of fraudsters, okay? So basically what you want to do is follow the flow chart. Are you booking within 21 days of travel? If you answer yes, then it's going to ask you this question. Are you booking with a third party? And it has a list of the different third-party vendors that we have. If your answer to that is yes, then you'll come over here. I'm going to tell you now, the information that Archer is looking for is the credit card authorization form, which you should be getting from your clients anyway. They are also going to need a photo ID of that particular client. They prefer just a front, but as an agent, I highly recommend you get a front and back copy of the driver's license with the credit card authorization form. You'll need to send these forms to Archer before booking. Sometimes if you contact Archer, they may have a different response to you. So just call them. The number is provided, and I'll show you how to access that information soon. Okay, so make sure you're following the flow chart if you have a client looking to book within 21 days of departure. That's because the most fraud occurs when it's within that time frame. So we want to make sure that you are safe as the agent and that you are not setting yourself up to be scammed in any type of way. So let's move forward. And again, that is in Spanish for you if your native tongue is Spanish. Let's keep going. So back to the Travel Cafe. One thing that I want to point out here, and you may see it highlighted at the top, is the Contact Us button. You will need to know the contact information for Archer, but there are a couple of places where you can find this. So very top here, you got the Contact Us button, but also in the very bottom left corner, you also have contact us. And these two buttons take you to the same information. And these are the contact numbers for anyone with Archer and Evolution, specifically to the things that you need assistance with, okay? So I highly recommend that you document where to locate that so that you can easily find the contact information in the event that you need it. Another great thing that I highly recommend that you get is right here at the top, right underneath the homepage when you're in the Travel Cafe, there's a new agent packet. This happens to be on our training website as well, but in case you ever forget where it's located on the training website, you can always come to the Travel Cafe, click on the new agent packet. It is a PDF document, but it basically is your guideline, okay? Your handbook, if you will, as a new agent, giving you all of the information you'll need as you're registering with vendors, important numbers and IATA numbers and things that you're going to need when you're registering with different suppliers and certifications. But let's talk about right now suppliers. So in the left-hand margin, again, with this list here, if you click on suppliers, it'll bring up a list like this. You'll have a how to register, and then you'll have a supplier request form. As a leader within the agency, I highly recommend that when you're registering, the first thing you want to do is go to the supplier request form. The reason why I say this is because you have to submit a form through Archer, and these suppliers can take anywhere from 4 to 7 days to get processed. So it's always great to start with the supplier request form. There will be 4 separate suppliers that you can actually register with right away. 2 of which you have to be with the company for 2 months if you're registering with Delta Vacations, and then you have to be with the company for 6 months before you have direct access to sandals. Okay, so the first 4 will be VAX. You'll have Norwegian Cruise Line, MSC, and then you'll have also Princess Cruise Lines or OneSource. You must submit a supplier request form, 1 for each vendor. Okay, so you will submit a supplier request form 4 separate times. And Tommy does a great job showing you what you have to do when you do that. But after you have completed your supplier request form for those top 4 vendors, now you're on your way to the how to register button. The how to register is basically information on how to self-register with the different vendors. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So let's say, for instance, you clicked on suppliers here. You come over here, you've already submitted your supplier request forms. Now you're ready to how to register. You click on how to register, and it'll bring you to a list that looks like this. Be mindful that all of the vendors listed on this page are listed in alphabetical order. And all of our preferred vendors will have this little symbol, this red and white preferred symbol beside it. Notice that Blue Sky Tours Hawaii is actually included in the VAX, Vacation Access, one of the that you submit for the supplier request form. So there's no need to register for them separately. You will already have them included once your VAX is approved, okay? And VAX encompasses several different suppliers, but we like to use VAX for short because it does. We know about all of the different suppliers. But Blue Sky Tours Hawaii is definitely one of the suppliers within VAX, so you do not have to register with them separately. However, when you get to the cruise lines, there is a bit of a difference, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So let's take Carnival for instance, okay? When you click on Carnival on the how to register screen, you click on Carnival, it'll bring you to a little sheet. At the very top, you'll see some information about commission stuff. You want to scroll down on that sheet, and you want to get to the section that says how to register, okay? When you get to this link that says how to register, it's going to give you a guideline on what you need to do before clicking on this self-registration link. Here's the information that you need to know so that you fill it in accurately. I highly recommend that you pay close attention to the instructions in this section, because if you do not fill it out correctly, you will be denied access. Now, that doesn't mean that you're permanently denied access. It simply means that you would have to redo the registration if you are denied. But let's take a look at what some of those instructions are. So for your first name, notice how it says you need to put your EVO ID. That is simply your agent ID number. So instead of Angela, which is my name, I would put my agent ID number for my first name. Now, when it comes to my last name, I would actually put my last name. Where it asks for agency name, you're going to put Archer Travel, okay? For the agent email, you want to use the same email you use to sign up for Evolution and Archer when you enrolled. So make sure that you're using that same email address when you're registering here. Now, for agency phone number, this is very important, and I'm glad it's highlighted in blue. You'll notice that the agency phone number for cruise lines is different from Archer's main line number. So you definitely want to make sure that you have documented. You might want to take a screenshot of this as you're going along. So when you are registering, it's very easy. But this is the number that you'll use when it asks for agency phone number. Your access level will be agent. Notice that it says you will it'll take around 24 to 48 hours before you are actually granted access to Carnival Cruise Line's direct site. However, I have seen most people get access within 24 hours. So once you know this information and you pretty have a good handle on it, you can click on the registration link. You can actually right click and open it up in a separate tab. That way you can keep this particular tab open so you can kind of cross-reference as you need in case you don't want to take a screenshot. But definitely click on this and then you'll fill in the form, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Just make sure you follow the instructions. All right, so let's keep going here. The next thing that we want to talk about is your business cards. As a travel agent, you are going to be in many different scenarios in which you come across people. For instance, I'm just getting back from Turkey, and when I was at the airport and we were getting transferred, I met a couple of couples, and they were actually traveling on the cruise. And I was like, oh, wow, you know, I learned a little bit about them, which cruise line they were traveling on, where they were going. And I said, well, you know, I'm a travel agent. I would love to do all of your travel. And that's when they told me that they travel 4 times a year. And she was like, oh, well, give me your business card. So having a business card is essential. It is like one of the primary things that you want to have as a business owner. So here are some things that you need to know about your business card, and it can be found in the Travel Cafe. So again, going back to this sidebar menu here, if you go to Media Library, okay, if you click on Media Library, you will see where it says Business Card Requirements. You want to click on that. And when you click on it, it's going to bring you to a sheet or a form that looks like this, or a page that looks like this, okay? Notice that all of numbers 1 through 6 are required information for your business cards. So make sure you pay close attention to what that entails. As you know, number 1, it says your personal business name. We want you to brand yourself. If you have not thought of a business name currently, that is okay. But start thinking about what you want to call your travel business, because you want to include that on your business card as opposed to simply putting Archer. We all know that Archer is our host agency, but they also have a brick and mortar. So if you only put their information, you'll have clients contacting them to book their travel as opposed to you. So make sure you have your personal business name and information on your business card. The next thing that you're going to need is the Archer Travel affiliate logo. You'll notice that it is pretty much threaded throughout. You'll see this logo threaded throughout many options here. You get to choose which one you want, okay? It doesn't have to be super large on your business card. It just has to be on your business card somewhere. I know some agents like to put it on the back of their business cards, and they like to include these registration numbers like in 2 columns right underneath the logo. The choice is yours. You get to design it however you want to, but just make sure that you include all of these registration numbers as well as the Archer affiliate logo and your personal business name. The last thing is optional, and that's the Evolution Travel logo. So some people, instead of choosing one or the other, they will choose one that has a combination of both. You have that option as well, okay? When you go into the back office and you are in the media library and you click on business cards, these are downloadable forms or JPEG images. You can simply download them to your computer and whatever program you're using to design your business cards, whether that's Vistaprint or some other type of service provider, then you can certainly upload that image at the time that it comes to that point, okay? So again, you need all of 1 through 6. Number 7 is optional. If you have not started thinking of a business name, please start doing that. You want to make sure that you are branding yourself and thinking about how you're going to make sure that your information, that you're putting yourself out there. We do not want you being secret agents, okay? Again, That is all for business cards. And if you have any further questions about that, feel free to ask your mentor and they will be happy to guide you through that process. Okay, so let's keep going here. The next thing I'm going to give you are some very important information, numbers that you'll need, okay? Our IATA number, you want to get very familiar with this. In fact, I highly recommend that you begin to memorize it because you will use it literally just about every day, especially once you gain access to VAX, because you will have to put in our IATA number in order to book travel and get the credit for your travel, okay? The other thing that you want to know is Archer's main phone number. This is the main line. And remember, I was telling you that our cruise line phone number is different. Here is where you get to see that difference. So if you want to take a screenshot of this slide, feel free to do so. However, this information is in the new agent packet. It is also can always be found in the Travel Cafe and on the training website and the new agent packet there. But I highly recommend just taking a screenshot. That way you have it right there at your fingertips in case you need it. Your IATA number is like your driver's license number for travel. So make sure you have this number memorized at some point in your head. Let's keep going. I want to give you a couple of things, pointers as advisors as you're registering with different vendors, okay? As a rule of thumb, that doesn't mean that every single time, but as a rule of thumb, anywhere where it says agency, this is where you're going to put Archer's information, okay? Anywhere where it says agent, this is where you want to put your information. So when it asks for agent telephone number or agent email address, that's where you're going to put your information. Now, there are some circumstances when you're doing certification trainings where this can get a little bit confusing. And if there is ever a question that you have or you're confused about which information you need to put where, always feel free to reach out to your mentor or pose the question in the chat, and one of us will be happy to guide you through that process because it can be confusing at times, okay? So don't worry. Just as a rule of thumb, if it says agency, use Archer's information. If it says agent, you want to input your information. All right, so let's keep going. Now let's talk about how to get paid. And this is super duper important, you guys. Getting your Akimbo card, as you know, that's how we get paid our commissions, is on the Akimbo card. You first need to apply for that card. On this video, which is under step 1 on the training website, it is about a 10-minute video. We show you how to go about actually applying for the card. It takes about 7 days for it to arrive to your home, but make sure when you get that card in the mail that you do not throw away the sheet, the white sheet of paper that it is adhered to. Just like with any credit or debit card that you receive in the mail, it is always going to be attached to a piece of paper. That piece of paper is super important. But if you forget anything that I said here, be mindful that this video on how to get paid with your Akimbo card is on step 1 on our training website. It is about 10 minutes, so it's not very long, but I'm sharing with you what you need, okay? After you apply for it, you will receive a sheet of paper with the card adhered to it. On that sheet of paper, at the very top, you'll have what we call your Akimbo identifier. It's located in the center top of the paper. It will be the first set of numbers before that first forward slash, okay? So your Akimbo identifier number is located in the top center of that paper. It will be the first set of numbers before the slash. It'll be a 6 to 7 digit number, okay? Now you will have to take that number and enter it into your back office. So here are the steps on what you need to do. You will need to go into your back office, and in the left-hand margin, you want to go and find account. When you click on account, you'll have a couple of options there. You want to click on update personal information, okay? When you click on that, you'll see a space that says Akimbo card identifier. That is where you're going to input that 6 or 7 digit number directly into that space, okay? After you enter it, scroll down. You want to verify that all your other information is already entered in correctly. It should have already transferred over from your enrollment form, your address, your name, and all of that stuff, your email address, phone number. You want to go down, though, because you need to now save this new information that you've inputted with your Akimbo identifier. So make sure that you do that, all right? Again, if you do not input your Akimbo identifier, if you do not apply for the card first, and then if you don't input your Akimbo identifier card number in your back office, you cannot get paid. So this is very, very important. Do not miss this step. And if you ever forget, remember, this video is on our training website under step 1. And Marnie does a great job showing you what you need to do to get that set up again. All right, let's keep going. The next thing I want to talk to you about is your travel site. As we all know, we all get this same subdomain of a template for our travel website. When you go into your back office, similar to what we did with the Travel Cafe, but right above it, you'll see My Travel Site. You want to click on that. This is very important because this is where you're going to log your commissions. We talked about you can't get paid if you don't have your Akimbo card. Well, you also can't get paid if you don't log your commissions. The reason being is because we have over 16,000 agents. So if you don't specify your reservation information and your confirmation details in your back office, Archer has no idea who they are supposed to pay. So let's take a look at what that looks like. When you're in your back office and you click on My Travel site, it'll bring you to a screen that looks like this. Now, if you're like me and you like to save your passwords to your Google profile, you can simply click here and it'll pop up for you. If you're a good organized person and you like to keep that spreadsheet that we talked about, your agent ID, basically the same login information that you use to log into your back office is the same information you'll input here. Once you do that, you'll hit submit and then it'll bring you to this. This is what looks like to be the back portion of your website, okay? But take note of this wonderful part right here called commissions. It has a drop-down menu, and you'll see in that drop-down menu paid commissions, commission tracking form, and a couple of other things. What you want to pay attention to is the commission tracking form, because that is where you're going to keep track of all of your commissions, whether it is a package, whether it's a cruise, a hotel only, maybe it's a rail, maybe they're doing some type of Amtrak getaway or something like that. It is very self-explanatory. Just make sure you follow and input all of the data that it requires and then hit submit. Archer and Evolution will send you an email as soon as you submit your commission tracking form. You will have an email, and then it'll have a document that shows all of the commissions that you have submitted in one place. You cannot get paid. Again, if you do not, one, register for your Akimbo card, input that Akimbo card identifier into your back office, and submit your commission tracking form. So those are 3 things you want to make sure that you do immediately, okay? If you happen to have thrown away that white sheet of paper because you were really fast about getting this done and you didn't know that you needed to keep that paper, it's okay. We're going to need to reach back out to Akimbo so that they can get that sent back out to you. Your mentor will be able to assist you with that. So don't worry. You'll get that back within enough time before you should receive your first commission. Okay, so let's keep moving right along. The next thing we want to talk about is Evo Rewards. Guys, as we mentioned to you, if you were in the presentation, you heard about all of the wonderful rewards that we get as travel agents. It doesn't just stop with travel and hotels and things like that. We get discounts on things like tire rotation, oil changes. If you need a percentage off of a computer or some type of electronic device, we have access to all of that in our Evo Rewards site. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So when you click on Evo Rewards, it'll bring you to a site that looks like this. You'll notice all of these different categories up here, okay? So not only can you find wonderful deals for travel, you can find theme park tickets, places to eat out, maybe some Domino's pizza, or things you want to do like some entertainment or things you want to do for shopping. I highly recommend you kind of go in and explore. But a good thing about Evo Rewards also is that you can use this for instant commissions. And that is something you want to talk to your mentor about. But I love to do it because you get to find these wonderful deals and you can pass those along to your clients and make some instant commissions along the way. So that is another great thing about Evo Rewards. And I like them a little bit better than Profit Agility because Profit Agility has very rigid set of dates of travel for your clients, whereas Evo Rewards, you can kind of customize the dates that your clients are looking to travel, especially if your client has already been doing a little preliminary research and they can tell you which hotel that they're looking at. You can easily come in and compare and see if you can get them a better deal. And if so, you might have a little wiggle room to make yourself some little extra money on the side. All right, So EVA Rewards is a must-see. Make sure you go in, explore. You can't break it, so just go in and take a look around. Let's keep going. All right. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is ask your mentor to add you to these Facebook pages. Evolution Enterprises. This is where we like to showcase all of those kudos and rewards and things that people are doing within the agency. This is something that you would love to do because they upload all of those trainings that we get weekly from the corporate office. They are uploaded to the Evolution Enterprises Facebook page, and you can go in and kind of look at the archived videos in case you missed it. If you're the type of person who works another job and you like to do things on your own time, maybe late at night, you can always register, or join the Facebook groups so that you can have access to those things. Evolution Travel Cafe on Facebook is kind of like our daily briefing, if you will, where Jose Lambert will go over, or Ron Archer will go over some special deals or things that we need to know as travel agents when we're booking travel, or some things that we need to be in the know of. So that's also another great group. Evolution Events, these are for in-person events that you might be near. We highly recommend that you at least attend one or two if you're able to, if it's near you. Going in person and getting that live one-on-one training is a totally different monster. I myself have not been yet, but I do plan on going very soon. So I do highly recommend that as well. You might have a team-specific group on Facebook as well. That's something you want to ask your mentor. Not all of the teams have a Facebook page. Some of us just kind of look at Evolution Enterprises and kind of utilize that. But you're free to ask your mentor to see whether or not there is a team-specific group for you, okay? Those are the things that you want to do. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about Telegram, okay? Some of you may be on Discord, but if you are on Telegram, like the majority of us, I want to show you how to navigate that. So here's the first thing you want to know. Number one, at the very top of any chat is going to be the name of that chat group, okay? So they have the chat name. There are several different chats. We're not all in the same chats, but some of us are. Whenever you see the chat name, there are a couple of things I want you to pay attention to. And you'll notice them by the green and the red arrows here. So let's take a look at the green arrow first. If you see this heart and you see a number above the heart, that means that's how many reactions you have received from some type of post you've made in that particular chat. It could be a thumbs up emoji, it could be a heart emoji, or it could be a laughing emoji, just basically some type of reaction that people have made from a post that you have actually submitted in that group chat. The next number that you want to pay attention to, represented here by the red arrow, that is a number that lets you know how many messages in that group you have missed, okay? So if you click on the down arrow, it'll take you to the very bottom, okay, of that screen so that you can kind of scroll up and see what you've missed, but that lets you know how many messages you've missed in the group. The next thing you want to pay attention to are the pinned messages. Here's where leaders or admins of each chat like to pin specific important messages that they think will be beneficial to agents, or reminders to agents. You can simply click on the pinned message, click on this little part over and over again. I like to call it like a bookmark, okay? Instead of you scrolling and scrolling and scrolling looking for this important information, you can click on the pinned messages and it'll dot you to that part of the chat that discusses that particular information. So it's more or less like a bookmark within the chat to help you navigate quicker and easier. But if you are the type of person who's looking for specific information, there are a couple of other very good strategies to do that as well. So in this section of the chat, there are some bars, and they will look like this, okay? You will see like a little bell. That is a way to mute the chat. For instance, if you're the type of person who's a very light sleeper, and you know we have people who are all over the world who have access to our chats, and some of them are up very late at night, and maybe you are an early bird and you have to go to another job in the morning, you can mute the chat. I highly recommend you unmute it or set yourself an alarm to remind yourself to unmute it, because it's very easy to forget. But say, for instance, you want to search for something really quickly. You remember someone saying something, it wasn't a pinned message, but you found it very important. Maybe you remember who said it, or you remember the topic of discussion. You can use this magnifying glass here, click on it, and type in some keywords or the person's name to find all of the messages or posts with those keywords in it. So that's an easy way to find things as well. Another thing that is really useful in Telegram is the media files, links, and things of that nature. This is an easy way to locate things that may be training videos or links to YouTube trainings and things like that, where you can find it easily. Or maybe there's a file that someone shared that you want access to and you don't want to have to sift through or search. You can just go to files and it'll populate a list of files that have been uploaded to that particular chat for easy access. So those are just some very good tidbits and tips on how to utilize, maximize your time on Telegram so that you're not wasting a whole lot of time looking for things, okay? All right, let's keep going. And thank you guys for your time and patience. Next thing I want to talk about on the training website, for those of you who are very, very organized or looking to become more organized like myself, okay, there is a live training schedule provided on our team training website, okay? It is what we call a master schedule. If you look underneath the steps, so you have money in your pocket, step 1, 2, and 3, but underneath that, you will see a link that says live trainings. You want to click on that. When you click on it, it'll bring you to a page that looks like this. You'll see a color-coded a version of the US, and basically it's divided by the time zones. Be mindful that anything that is listed on the live presentation schedule or the live schedule for the month, they will always be in Pacific Standard Time. So you want to adjust your time accordingly. For me, I'm in Central Standard Time. So I know that any time that's listed on the training schedule, I need to go up 2 hours because that's what time it'll be available to me. Okay. So be mindful of that. When you click on this live, this full live schedule, it'll bring you to a page that looks, well, we don't show it here, but basically it's a large Google spreadsheet, okay? And at the very bottom, you'll have like the months, but it gives you the full training schedule for the entire month. And it is a way for you to be able to figure out which trainings you want to attend for the month. Maybe you work another job or you have kids and you kind of have to work around their schedule. So you can see what trainings are available for the month, and you can kind of create your schedule based upon your availability and your schedule, okay? Now, the next thing, despite us having a live monthly calendar, we are all human beings, and be mindful that we all volunteer our time to do these trainings. Things happen. For instance, I was just in Turkey last week. I was supposed to do new agent orientation today at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which was 1 p.m. my time. I literally laid down for a nap around 11 o'clock. Like, I'm gonna just take a little nap. And I didn't wake up until like 2:45, well after the training. So things can happen. I'm completely jet lagged. So here I am trying to make it up to you guys and give you a great training on New Agent 101 so that you have this at your disposal, okay? So we do highly advise, despite having a full monthly live schedule, that you check your daily schedules that are going to be uploaded to the team daily chats, okay? We verify these each day to make sure that the people who are supposed to be scheduled, they are still able to keep their commitment and that they will be doing the training that day, okay? So if you take a look at this, you want to focus on the left and the right-hand side, okay? On the left-hand side are all of your daily trainings that we offer, that we volunteer as agents our time to give you training on. So you have book and Q&A, you have mindset and motivation, team building Q&A if you're looking to do that side of the business, consistency workshop, New Agent 101. You will see that it says New Agent 102 here. That's because we used to have them broken up into two, but as of December 1st, we started combining them. So you get it all in one whop right here. The fun things that I like are the Did You Know? And these are like some specialty trainings that are given and offered by different agents for some different things that they want to share with the group. As we told you, we are a very supportive community. We like to share our tips and tricks, things that work for you, or things that will help you grow your business, okay? On the right-hand side, these are what we call our corporate trainings. And these are pretty standard each week, okay? So the Sunrise Inspiration Rhyme, that is actually not a Zoom meeting. That is a dialed-in conference call in the morning. It's kind of like an inspirational call. Some people are very dedicated to it. As you can see, the times are very early. At this time in the morning, I'm typically getting my kids off to school, so I rarely get to get on, but sometimes I do. We highly recommend that you stay plugged in as much as possible. Get that good energy. Make sure that you are filling your mind with positive people and surrounding yourself with that positive energy as well. You'll also notice that they provide some different specialty trainings as well, like Virgin Voyages cruises, as you can see on the screen. Typically, you'll have your Evolution Travel Cafe posted here as well. And then whatever day of the week for that week, we also have weekly trainings that are done every day of the week, and they will be provided here from our corporate office, okay? So you can always take a look at that. For those of you who are interested in the mentorship side of the business, this center row here, or center column, excuse me, is where you'll find information about our presentation schedule, where we're sharing our opportunity with others. So if you're inviting someone out to learn a little bit more about the travel agent position and what it entails, and you need to know what times or who's doing it, you can always look here to find out that schedule. We also offer it in Spanish, okay? So you want to kind of look in the Spanish section and see what times and dates are available there as well. We highly, again, recommend that even though you have the live schedule, that you double check the daily schedule to make sure that that training is still on for the day. All right, so we're near the end here. The last thing I want to share with you is our lineage, okay? So we all know that we're part of Evolution Enterprises and Archer Travel. With Evolution, they give us the opportunity to work remotely, okay? And basically, they're the marketing arm. We all, in some way or form, fall under this lineage of Rising Tide with Charles and Nikki Lee. For me, I know most of us are going to be part of Beach Bosses with Marnie Hernandez. I know that my direct platinum is one of her mentees. And then you have Amy and Justin Cabrera, who are also under Marnie. So you're going to fall within one of these teams. If you're really curious about where you fall within the lineage, always feel free to ask your mentor. That it wasn't a big deal to me, but maybe it's something that is of interest to you. So I want to make sure that you have all that you need, okay? And that actually concludes New Agent 101. Thank you for joining me tonight. And I am going to create a separate little tips and tricks for utilizing VAX and some of our other vendors, but I wanted to share this with you really quickly and make sure I had it available. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the chats. Bye.